video, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag because I had a big day today. I did a fair bit of work, and then in the afternoon, early afternoon, I went fishing. I didn't expect to catch anything because the weather is still too cold to catch the species that inhabit the particular area that I fish, my favourite spot. But as soon as you get I've got an action cam on the way, a Yi light. I didn't go for, as a beginner, I'm just going to start off cheap, so it only costs what, like $118 for the yeah, I think it was 118 bucks for the camera itself. And in fact, the memory cards, yeah, they're almost expensive as the camera. Not really, but well, actually, one memory card which I went and bought one from my computer store where I buy my computers from because it's a local. Robin's Mobile Computers. If you need a computer, ring her. She's excellent. And like, I actually bought another one for half the price online, but I don't mind spending the money with her because shopping local. And there's a lot of regional towns in Australia, not just where I live in North Queensland, but in Australia in general, that are suffering. So shop local. But anyway, so I've got an action cam on the way, and once I get that, I'm going to be doing a little bit more travelling and a bit more creek fishing, because good old creek fishing adventures. Yeah, he's really inspired me. Good on you. If you haven't watched his YouTube channel, Creek Fishing Adventures, watch it. He's amazing. He seems to be just like a fish magnet in the tiniest little streams and ponds. But anyway, we'll get on the subject of my video. And there's 3 different subjects, or 4, well, sort of. One subject is what you're going to see first up, which is which is the funny seagulls. There's these 2 seagulls that were hanging around while I was fishing, so you're going to see a bit of that, because they're some real bullying going on. And you're also going to see me feed a couple of eagle, probably the same eagle, I don't know, because I do like to do that. They're always hanging around there, and they seem to, I think they remember me, because birds aren't as stupid as a lot of people think they are. Yeah, they've got a brain the size of a pea, but they're not totally stupid. Pardon me. So it's the end of the day, I am relaxing and I am drinking a beer, so before I do anything, I'll just give it a special note for, there's a brewery in Great Britain called Hook Norton, and this is one of their specialties. It's called Old Hooky. And if you haven't tried British beers, seriously, the flavour, that's amazing. Seriously, if you have not tried British beers, my favourite British beer is actually Scottish, from Scotland. A lot of people don't realise that. When you talk about Scotland, people go, oh yeah, what's the national drink of Scotland? Oh, well, it's Scotch whiskey. No, it's not. It's actually beer. Alright? The Scottish have been brewers, large scale brewers, and exporters for a long time, for hundreds of years. Like, really, they have. And so most people don't realise that. They think, oh, Scotch whiskey. But also, you know what Scotch whiskey is? It's distilled beer, like literally. Yeah, that's literally what Scotch whiskey is. That's the difference between other whiskies. Now, what else are you going to see? Well, you're going to see the seagulls, you're going to see the eagles, and then I'm going to have a little chat to you. So I'll see you in a bit. That seagull grabbed one of my shrimp that I threw out because they were pretty much off. And that seagull there stole it off him and bullied him away. Now, this is how much of it I threw out. There's a fair bit of shrimp there, what we call prawns, and instead of being able to share it, that one guy, girl, whatever she is, look, still bullying. It's dropped the shrimp that it was eating, Because there's another one there that the other one grabbed, and it's bulleted off that one as well. And now it just it's just telling it, get out, all this food's mine. And that one's just staying away, it's just scared. It's really bizarre. Seagulls are really funny animals. Have a look at it, standing guard over that shrimp, those prawns. Won't let anyone else near it. Can't eat any of it because he's full. He or she, whatever. It's full, so I can't eat anymore. But oh, here comes a tern. Oh no! Oh, that tern just grabbed the where is it gone? Just grabbed the herring that I threw back. He's a greedy little bugger. They're unbelievable. This is funny. Look. Oh. No. Oh, he's grabbed a little tidbit. Go and grab some, you idiot. Go on. Well, he's having a drink. Go and grab one and run away with it. I don't know what the relationship is between these two seagulls, but the one on the left, he's too scared, or it's too scared to just go and grab one of the prawns. Oh, there we go. He's yeah. Go on, grab it. Go on. Look. Go. I don't know, but there's something wrong with this. There's something wrong with that seagull. I think it's got some sort of psychological problem. The food's there. It'd sort of creep up to it and have a bit of a peck at it, then run away. Because the one in the background seems to just be bullying it the whole time. This is really weird. Right. I've got a juvenile eagle trying to steal the bait. So what I'll do is I'll feed him. It's only a herring. It's only small, but it's up there in that tree. Let's see if he spots it. Hey eagle, here you go. And here he comes. He's flying around, making a decision. Whee! And he picked it up. And he's flying off. They are very, very skillful birds. There's that eagle up there again. There you go, buddy. Can't catch any fish? Well, at least I'll feed the eagles. And he's flown away. Okay, so you've seen the seagulls and the eagle, and now I'm going to have a chat about Howa rifles. Now, if you've watched my videos and listened to me talk, I'm a big fan of Howa rifles. As far as value for money is concerned, I don't think you can do better. Like, really, I don't think you can. And I think the majority of the time you are getting a rifle with good to outstanding accuracy. You know, Howa are the same as any other brand. You know, when you're manufacturing something, and I've been in the manufacturing game for quite a few. Well, I'm no longer in the manufacturing industry, where I was utilising the CNC lathe and CNC mills and lasers and whatnot. So if people don't understand, most people who have never been in that industry do not understand how things work. And the reality is that the actual tip, the actual insert that does the cutting wears out. So, and Howa doesn't, Remington doesn't, Savage doesn't, nobody does change that tool, change that insert out. I can't remember what it's called now. Every time they machine a part. all right? And that piece that actually does the cutting, the carbide, the actual carbide tool, it wears out, all right? So one Howa may be an absolute tack driver, the next one may be good, and the next one may be average. And that goes for all rifles. You know, the amount of times I've read, you know, reviews and comments and whatnot about, oh, my Remington can't shoot for shit, and this rifle and that rifle can't shoot, and I got rid of it. And now, yeah, that happens, because even though the vast, I would say, you know, in my opinion, the vast majority of Howas have good to outstanding accuracy for the price. You got to understand, they are a budget rifle. You know, you're not paying through the nose to buy a Howa, so don't expect it. Unfortunately, so many people have become enamored with Howa, including myself, that they've built up this reputation that they're supposed to be absolute tack drivers, each and every one of them. That's not the case. There is no brand of rifle in the world, well, unless you're spending serious money where the quality control is just, you know, beyond belief. Okay? Yeah, if you want to buy a custom rifle or a $5,000, $10,000 rifle, you've got to expect that. But when you're buying a budget rig, which is what the Howa is, don't be disappointed if it's not an absolute, you know, shoot the eyes out of a gnat at 1,000 meters tack driver. That's just totally unrealistic. All right, because I was actually, I can't remember who the guy was. I was watching a video and he had a 6mm Creedmoor, and the best groups that he got were like 1/2 inch, and he was bitching about it, you know, but it wouldn't shoot. This is with factory ammo, right, to begin with. Well, actually no, he was doing hand loads, but yeah, I mean, you know what? You can have crap hand loads if you don't do it right. You know, if you don't pay attention to detail when you're doing the hand loads, well, yeah, not much different than using factory ammo. Now, this rifle here, it's a 243. I could have bought a 6mm Creedmoor. Well, actually, no, I couldn't, because the 6mm Creedmoor wasn't out. Howa wasn't offering it at the time. But I love 243. You know, what can the 6mm Creedmoor do that the 243 can't? There are a lot of people who have won championships in precision shooting with 243s in the United States, national. So anyone who says, 243 is old and decrepit and, you know, just can't cut it anymore, yeah, I don't really believe that. Yeah, alright, the 6mm Creedmoor was designed essentially around a cartridge that could handle heavier, longer projectiles. But they're actually not that much heavier. The best projectile that this thing works with is an 87 grain Match King or VMAX. Yeah, so what I'm trying to get at is that if you're paying a budget price, don't expect premium performance. Yes, probably most of the time out of a Howa you will get premium performance, but it's still a budget rifle. So that if you get one and you get budget performance, don't bitch about it. Like, seriously, if you want to spend the big bucks, then spend the big bucks. And if it doesn't shoot the eyes out of a gnat, then send it back to him and say, hey, I just gave you thousands of bucks and you gave me a hose. Well, you can't really do that with a Howa, because you're not spending big bucks. You're not spending much at all. And like I said, like, this is the third Howa I've had. I had a 223 mini action. That was a 1 MOA rifle. A little short stubby barrel. That was excellent. I had a 308 Sporter. That was a 108. That was a 1 MOA rifle with factory ammo. That was with Aussie Outback ammo. I was getting consistently 1 MOA with a sporter with factory ammo. Admittedly, the Aussie Outback and Buffalo River Australian ammunition made by ADI, Australia Defence Industries, is excellent. It's really good, but still, you know, you can't get much better than that. So I just want to and I'll just give a couple of tips with regards to Howas. Don't scrub the barrels, all right? Don't go crazy cleaning them. Like, really. Couple fouling is not a menace. It doesn't wreck your barrel. In actual fact, it will probably, a build-up of copper will actually probably increase the accuracy, which is why I don't do it. And I'm not the only person that says that. All right, people with a lot more experience, a lot more expertise than myself say that too. Don't use bore cleaner. Don't use a brush. Like, really, just patch it out. Take all the fouling out of it. Don't worry about the copper fouling. All right. Run that patch through it with whatever rubbish that you use, and because I just use mineral oil. Yeah, white spirits. Just keep running that patch through until it comes out clean, and then just a dry patch and a patch with oil, just to oil the bore so it doesn't rust up, and that's it. And you will probably, your barrel will probably increase with accuracy as that copper builds up, believe it or not, because it's going to get tighter. Tolerances are going to get tighter, and because copper's only soft, it's not going to jam it up. So the other thing is, and I do it too, AICS compatible magazines. One of the problems with these magazines is that they restrict the length, your overall length. Right? They're excellent, but they restrict your overall length. So, you know, and this guy actually found it too, is that if he wanted to be just off the lands or touching the lands, he couldn't load them in the magazine because they were poking out, the projectiles were poking out that far. Well, guess what? Yeah, and he had it in a whiz-bang MDT, you know, real tactical looking thing. I mean, yeah, if that's your bag, and it really is a massive fad, that's fantastic, but they do restrict things, all right? There's a limit to how long your overall length of your projectile can be when you've got something that limits it. Whereas, and then you end up feeding it single feed. Most people, when they're shooting precision, load it single feed anyway. So this is sort of, it's a bit of a wank, but I do it too, so I'm guilty of it. I'm a wanker. There you go, admission. So there's no scope on here because I've actually got it on my 17 Hornet. The drama continues, well, sort of. Anyway, so I just wanted to have say something about Howas, because this guy, he actually, yeah, he could only get like ½ an inch to about 0.7 of an inch, and well, 1 inch, and so, he's only shot 300 rounds through it, and he's going to rebarrel it. Oh man, you know, I mean, seriously, you know what? If I was him, I tell you what, if I was him, I'd sell it and just buy another one, because chances are the next one he gets, it's going to be a tack driver. Because like I said, the realities of when something gets machined is that, you know, not all of them are, you know, there's a tolerance. You know, when you're machining something, I know because I've done this professionally, when you're machining something, there's a tolerance. It can be within this low number or that high number. So there's a range. And if you get to a point where maximum, and then you go, all right, I've got to change the tool. All right. So if you get one that's at the maximum, well, guess what? It's not going to be as accurate. So that's the reality. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. So hope you got something out of it. I don't know. Hope you did. So see you later.